Well, oops, daisy. A very warm welcome to everyone. My name is Mark, and in today's stream, I'm gonna get back to 700 elo because into last stream, sadly I went down in 600 elo, but now I'm gonna get back to it. And firstly, I'm gonna grind back to 700 elo, and I will go for to 800 elo too. Uh, Now I hit some losing streaks because I didn't really pay attention what I'm doing during the games yesterday. So I went down a little bit, but luckily I will get back fastly to 700 elo. So now my opening is maybe we'll do a castle over here. I'm not pretty sure. I hit some losing streaks. And also I'm gonna check out if my stream is going correctly and if it seems like it's going okay. And my cat's with me, so everything should be cool. So now I'm gonna go out with my knight over here to get more control of the board in the right corner, and I will also search for background music. Mm, like this, maybe it will be good. So now, if I go here, he can capture with his pawn, but I can capture with my knight, also putting some pressure over his bishop, and luckily that can happen. And now he didn't move with his bishop, so luckily I can get it for free. So that's cool. So now I'm gonna wait for his move. Now I wanted to go for the bishop, but now he's also putting some pressure over my knight. But if I go here, I can secure my knight. In the next round, if he goes somewhere here, my bishop will be in total danger. But for now, maybe I will just go here to get the bishop. We'll get it with his rook. But now if I go here, or for first I'm gonna go here with my pawn. So into next hand, if I can let out my bishop over here, that's cool. And into next hand, if I can move my rook over here, he will be forced to move with his queen to somewhere else. And luckily I can do that too. Because he defended his knight over here, but it was already defended by a knight, so that was maybe a mistake. But now he's securing his queen also. Now if I go out here with my bishop, I can give him a check. But for first I'm gonna go here. Maybe he will block with the pawn. And if that happens, I can go here, giving him a check. He can't block it with anything, so he will be forced to move with his king. Maybe he will move here or here. So for now I will just do that. And the music is it's a little bit loud, so I'm gonna take down to a volume a little bit. Now he's pushing out his pawn that I was saying before. Now I can give him a check again with my bishop. If he moves here, I can give him a check again via my queen, or if he's moving there, maybe I will just move here. And if I do that, and I can manage up my knight, I don't really see any kind of cool position right now to take. So for now I will just go here with my queen, but I can go here and put some pressure over my queen. So for now I will just go back over here. And I'm gonna wait for his turn. He's going for my bishop over here with his knight. But luckily I can just go here, put some pressure over his rook also. I mean, I can work up a transaction over here. If he moves away with his rook somewhere like here, I can go here, He can capture with his knight, so that's not cool. So maybe if he goes here with his rook, I will capture to knight. He can go for to bishop, but he just saved his knight. Now I can go here for tonight. Into next hand I can also go here, and that will be a checkmate if something else doesn't come up. So I'm gonna wait what it will be or not be. Now he was coming out with his pawn over there, but that was a mistake because now it's a checkmate. I get a little bit scared because the checkmate notification it was a little bit late on. And I get scared that he can make a move, but luckily that was a checkmate. Now I only need 26 points. That's around 3 more winning games. But my new game was aborted because my opponent wasn't here. But now I'm playing against Masfood. He's from Indonesia. Now he's putting some pressure over this pawn, but luckily there are nothing to be scared of. So for now I will go here with my pawn to put more pressure over his knight here. He can go here, here, I can capture, I can capture, I can capture here, I can capture here, I can capture here, I cannot capture here, and also here. I can also capture in this position, so let's go. Now he's getting back with his knight with the only square where I cannot capture. But now maybe I will also start to move with my bishop. It would be a cool idea, or I can go here with my white bishop. And after that maybe I can move forward with the pawn. He can capture with his pawn and with his knight, so that's not the brightest idea currently to do that. But I'm gonna wait for his move, what it will be. So now he did a castle. I will also come here with my knight. Now he can move forward with his pawn here. Move with his knight, but nothing dangerous. I can capture kinda everywhere. Yeah, now he's maybe going for my white bishop, but not really, because I can block it with my knight. So he can capture my knight, but I can capture with my bishop, so that's totally cool. Or even with my queen. But now my queen suddenly a little bit, and the bishop is blocked. But now I will do a castle. He can't really give me any kind of checks. He can go here, I can capture over here too. I can capture here too. He can't go here because the pawns are blocking the way. He can go here, I can capture here. He can only put some pressure over these pawns. That's cool. Now he's making a move with his pawn forward. Okay, I will not capture that because he can capture with his bishop. Instead I'm gonna move here. Not really, because that's the pawn that's defending against tonight. Or now I can go here. He will be forced to capture. Not really forced, he can still move with his king. It will be better idea for him to capture. So now if I go here, he can capture with his bishop and with his queen. But I can capture with my rook. I can only get one piece from the trade, so that's not really cool. But if I go here with my knight, he can capture with his knight, but I can also capture with my pawn, so that's cool. So for now I will do that. And maybe I will work up my black bishop to put more pressure over this square, so I can capture with my knight, he can capture with his bishop, I can capture with my bishop if it's up here, and it should cool. Because I get a bishop and a pawn for a knight. Now he's getting back with his knight. Now I can push forward that pawn. Also I can let out my bishop into the next round. And I can make some transactions through here. But also I need to be careful, because if I move with my knight he can capture my white bishop, and that's not pretty cool. Now I will capture the pawn over here with my knight. He can still capture with his knight, but in the last round he didn't even do that. Now he can capture my rook, sadly, because I didn't really pay attention for it. But now to bishop is no longer there. I can make some transactions. If I go here, he can capture with his bishop, I can capture with my knight, he can capture with his queen. And after that maybe I can capture with my rook, so that's totally cool. So for now I'm gonna do that. Can still go here with his knight, but if he do that, I don't really have any plan for that currently. If I go here, he can go here with his knight, I can go here, king, I can go here with my knight, giving him a check again, but he can capture with his bishop. After that I can capture with my rook, but after that he can capture with his queen, so that's not cool at the moment. But if I go here, I can put more defense over this square, so maybe I can move my knight to somewhere else, like over here. After that I can give him a check again, maybe it's not practical because I will sacrifice my queen. And not really, I will just make a transaction with it. So I'm gonna wait for his turn, what it will be. Okay, he moved with his knight. Now it's blocking the way of the rook and the queen also. But now I can move with that knight because the bishop is no longer putting pressure on it. So now I can go here with my knight. And maybe that was a mistake, but anyways. But in the next round maybe I can capture his bishop over here, or make a transaction, or I can capture his knight. Yeah, now he's going with the transaction because I even moved with my knight. That wasn't a brighter idea. Now if I go here, he can capture with his pawn, I can capture with my bishop, he can capture with his bishop, I can capture with my queen, he can capture with his queen, I can capture with my rook. Or... and for now I'm gonna do that. I will maybe start to work up my black bishop to put some pressure over these lines, and I can capture his king. I'm not pretty sure. Okay, now I can capture with my bishop. He's giving me a check via his queen. But maybe I'm gonna capture that pawn if my bishop will remain here. And after that maybe he will capture with his queen here, but I can go here with my bishop, he can block it with his queen, or he can go here. But now I will do a little bit of replanning. So for now now I can go here to give him a check via my bishop. So now he can go here or he can go back with his queen, but of course I can get his queen via my bishop. So most likely he will go here. And if he does that, I can go here with my queen. He can block with his queen, but I will capture his sacrifice. Now I'm not sure if he sacrificed his knight, but now I can capture his knight. And I can give him a check again. Okay, he didn't really sacrifice. But now if I go back, I can capture here, but he can capture with his queen or with his rook, and after that my queen will be pinged over here also. But I can just step back with my bishop for now. Now he captured the white bishop, maybe to let out his other rook. Okay, now he's moving forward by a pawn. If I go here, I can capture, I don't know what his next move will be, but if I go here with my bishop, I can give a check, he can capture with his rook. I can capture also with my rook. After that he can capture with his queen, I would capture the queen. I need to also calculate in that I don't have a, I have a less, I don't have that many of pieces, and now maybe I fucked it up, because if he comes here and I will give a check, he can capture with his rook, and I will capture with my queen, because if I don't do that, or if that happens, that I go here, he capture with his rook. After that I can go here with my queen, it will be a check again. So it's up to him what it will be. Now he can also capture with his queen, but if he does that I can capture with my rook, but if I do that he can capture my queen with his rook. Or that's gonna happen. Now I can give him a check again. Now if I go here it will be a check again. Now I can trade the rook over here. Or I can give him a check again by moving here, but he can go here again. For first I'm gonna make the rook transaction. Now maybe I will go for a few pawns. And now if I can develop a pawn, and also if he goes there, he can give me a check. Capture some pawns, I don't really want that to happen. And that should be slowly checkmate, I think. Or it's gonna make a little bit more turn. Because now I will need to develop one more pawns into a queen or a rook. Now if I go here, we can go into these squares. He will be forced to go here. And after that I will develop that pawn, so I should be cool. And that's a checkmate. So now on I will need 18 points to reach 700 elo again. So I'm gonna just start a new match. I'm playing against Greg Abrun, 21. He's from France and he's at 671 elo. I'm playing with the white pieces, he's playing with the black pieces. So now on slowly I will start to develop my pieces on the right corner. So now I'm waiting for his move. He's coming out to give me a check with his queen, but luckily I can block it with a pawn. So there are no more dangers over here, and I can also put some pressure over where his queen. Of course he can go into a different square, but soon if maybe I can develop out my black bishop and it will be cool, except he can go now here with his pawn, and if that happens I will be forced to move here my other pawn, or coming out with my knight. Maybe I will come out with my knight because it will be strategically a better move, but he didn't really do that. Now I will develop my black bishop and also putting some pressure over this pawn. Now he's defending that square by 2 pieces. Now currently I'm just putting pressure over with 2 pieces, but if I make the transaction over here, he will leading by a piece, so I wouldn't profit from the transaction. So now I should move here with my knight. So maybe in the upcoming round I can go here with my pawn, putting some pressure over his bishop and with his, on his queen, and it will manage my problem that I have here. But I'm still gonna wait for his move. Now he's putting some pressure over my knight, so if I take with my pawn, he can take with his bishop, I can take with my bishop, after that he can take with his queen, but if I take with my knight, he can take my queen also. But now if I'm calculating, I will profit, basically I will not really profit from it, or maybe I will profit on white bishop, so I'm gonna go for it, or yeah. I will no longer profit white bishop from this transaction because he took my knight with his queen, but now I can take with my queen his queen, but after that he will put some pressure over my rook, but he's currently do that also. So I will also move with my rook, and if I will have the chance, and luckily I will take that pawn, also putting some pressure over his rook. Luckily I can take it also. I will need to get rid of the bishop from there because it's putting some pressure over my king. It's a little bit suffocating for my king over there. But in the next round, if I have the opportunity, I will take the rook and maybe start to do some actions. Now he's getting back with his white bishop, putting some pressure over one of my pawns, but that's totally cool, because now I can take a rook. It's putting some pressure over my knight, but luckily I can just easily move back with my knight. I can see that I also have more open field for my knight to do more actions. Maybe I will manage up over here onto d5. After that I can go for c7, giving a fork, but I can no longer do that because he did a castle. So now if I go for d5, he can capture with his rook. And if I go with my bishop to f6, I could put some pressure over his rook, but he can capture with his knight sadly, so that's not a thing for me now, but I can come out with my bishop to give him a check. He can go into b8, and if that happens, maybe I can move back with my bishop to e5. After that I will defend on c7, so I can come out with my knight, or not really. I can go to b5, after that I can go to c7 with my bishop, and I will put more pressure over his rook. But now I sacrifice my bishop because the knight is defending that square. But luckily he didn't saw that. Now I will just get back by a square to save my bishop from the pawn and knight. And now I can develop my knight to b5, and I can go to c7 with my bishop. Putting some, giving him a check, he can go to c8 with his king, but I can capture his rook with my bishop. But if he goes to c8, I can also go to a7 with my knight. But after that he can capture my bishop with his king, so that's not cool. Or he can go to c8 right now with his king, or a6, 8. Anyways, I'm gonna still take that free pawn from there. Or I can go to c8 with my knight, giving him a check instead. He can go back to b8. I can come back with my knight, giving him a check again. And now I can trade my knight for his rook. But now maybe it's a checkmate, because if I move away with my knight and not to d8, he can go in these lines because the knight is not defending it, or with his rook. If I go here, he will be forced to move here with his knight or with his rook. So I should defend that square. And yeah, that was maybe a mistake, because... Oh, not really, because now he needs to block this way, he can block it with his rook. And now I can take the rook without losing my knight. Or he can do that also, but sadly I cannot capture it because he can capture with his white bishop. So for now I will go back over here. After that maybe I will try to manage up my rook over here to get away with that white bishop. Now my knight is hanging there, so I'm just gonna save it by moving here. And that was a mistake because now he can capture with his knight, I can capture with my pawn because the rook is currently pinging it. But now I can capture, I can trade my rook or lose one of my rooks. Okay, first I'm gonna capture the bishop because I'm gonna give him a check. After that I can capture the knight. Or I can go for here to give him a check. He can block it with his rook or with his knight. So for now I will just capture that knight that was there. Or I can also go here. Now for first I'm gonna go here with my bishop. Now if I move here, he can still go here with his king. If I go here with my bishop, he can capture it with his king if he does that. But now if I go here, it should be cool. So now I can go here and if everything is right, that's a checkmate. Yep. So now on I will need 2 more wins to get back to 700 elo. And yep, basically that's it. I will start my own structure again. Now I will go here with my pawn to let out my bishop if he captures with his pawn, but he doesn't really do that. Now I can also ping his knight over there, so he can no longer capture with his knight. And I can also put some pressure over his knight. Now if he goes away in these sections I can capture, he can only go back into these squares. And he do that. Now I will let out my knight also to do some actions. Now if he captures with that pawn I can capture, I can't really capture his rook because he will get it with his queen. But if I go here for now, I can trade my knight for a pawn. He will get, not really for a pawn and the bishop. After that he gets with his bishop. I can get with my queen, also giving him a check. Or that's not really the case. I will get back with my knight. getting out with his other knight. But now I'm gonna capture the pawns over here, because it's a little bit suffocating. Now he captured with his pawn, so I can go here. And if I will need it, I can go here to give him a check again. But now he's moving out with his other pawn, maybe to let out his white bishop. For first I'm gonna move that pawn also. No, not really, because I would block the queen's way. So... Oh, danke, love you, Noah. You watching some quality things during your lunch break. So now if I go here, he can capture with his bishop. So yeah, he's trying to do something with his white bishop. But now even if he's moving with his knight and he's going for the pawn with his bishop, I can capture. If I move here with my pawn, he can capture with two of his knights, and with the pawn I can only capture with a queen. So that's not really optional. So maybe I'm gonna move here with my knight to build up something control, some kind of control. If I move here, he can capture with a pawn or with a knight. But if he captures with that knight, I can capture the bishop with my bishop. Of course, that would be a transaction, or he can capture with that knight, also leaving him a more open field with that knight. Or I can slowly develop my knight over here to do some actions. Because if I move here, I can put some pressure over these squares. But if I move here, I can put some pressure over his rook. But he's moving out with his knight over here. So for now, I will move here, because I can capture that pawn, also putting some pressure over his queen. And if he's moving away with his queen to somewhere else, I can really capture here, because my queen is not in that square to do action. Now he's putting some pressure over my knight, but I can defend it. Or I can move here for the pawn, and if he captures with his queen, I can capture with my queen. His queen, and it would be a good transaction for me. But now he's pushing with his black bishop. And I can capture that knight because it's defended by a bishop, by a pawn, by a knight. So I will be forced to move my queen somewhere else. Or I can move my bishop over here, so into next round I can come here with my queen. And it should be cool. But now my queen is in a little bit of danger, and also my knight. But if I go here, and if he captures my knight, I can capture that knight because the queen is defending it. But if I go here, he can capture. I will capture his knight, he can capture with his queen, I will capture his queen with my bishop. After that, most likely he will move with his rook to save it, so that's not a good deal. But for now, I will go here with my bishop. And that was a dumb idea, because he can capture with his knight and with his bishop. thinking about how to solve this. Because I can go here because he can capture with his knight. I can go here because he can capture with his rook. Also, if I'm moving it to a different square, he can capture my bishop too. So now I will go here. Now if I go here, it will be cool. I will go out with my knight because I will need to do a castle because back around here it's start to being a little bit suffocating. But I can't really do that because of that black bishop. If I move here with my pawn, he can capture my bishop. So that's not cool either. If I go here to capture, should be cool. Not really, because now he could have been capture my rook. But now I'm gonna capture his knight over here. If he captures with his queen, I can go here with my queen. But he didn't really do that, instead he's putting some pressure over my knight. But I can also move it here to defend the square. Okay, he captured the pawn. That's okay. Now I can do a castle, luckily. Now maybe I will work up a queen transaction over here. Slowly my pawn developing over there, so that's cool. Yeah, and now I blundered the game. So I will need 3 more win games to reach 700 elo again. He's starting to build up a weird pawn structure, but okay. I almost sacrificed my queen, but luckily I didn't do that. Instead I'm gonna move here to take the free pawn. Now I will not go here, because the knight is defending that area. Now he's going for a rook, but that's okay. So I'm gonna wait for his move, what it will be. If he goes here with a pawn to put some pressure over my queen, that's not the case. But now if I go here, he can move with his queen, because it's a discovered check. Or he can do that also. Oops. And now even my black bishop is a little bit of danger. And also he will going for going to give me a check. with his queen, but if I go here for first, he can go here with his bishop. But if he does that, I can capture with my queen because the bishop is defending it. Now he can go here with his rook, I can go here, but maybe that will end up as a transaction. Or not really, I will not capture because he will capture with his queen, but now if I go here, most likely he will go back here. I will also need that pawn forward, because if I do that, the bishop will defend the rook from the queen even after I move my knight. Luckily he sacrificed his bishop because now I can take with my pawn, he can take my pawn because the queen is giving a check. Now he can capture my pawn with the knight, or he can capture the bishop. I was seeing that also. And now I sacrifice my rook. If I go here, he will be forced to move here. I can give him a check again with the pawn. If I go here, I can give him a check again. Most likely he will go here. But if I go here, he will be forced to move into these squares. If he moves in this one, I can just simply move forward by a pawn. Or I can do that now. Now I can give him a check again by this knight. If I go here, he can go into these squares. So he will have 3 options to go to. Sacrifice my queen. Well, that was unpleasant. But luckily I have more pawns to deal with. Mm. Yeah, no, I fucked it up because he could get my bishop. Okay, so from now on I will need 3 win again. So now if I go here he can capture with his pawn, I can capture with my knight. If he takes with his bishop, it should be good. So now I can get a free pawn from there. Maybe I can even get the rook, but not really because he can come out into 2 squares. It's not really likely that's gonna happen. Or I can come out with my queen over here. Not really from now on. Or I can capture with my pawn over here. if I go here with my knight, it's nothing on it. If he moves away with his knight, I can capture even with my knight, or with my pawns. Or he can go back over here, but slowly I can develop my knight over here. And if he makes his knight go over here, that would be a checkmate, but I don't really think so he's gonna do that. So I'm waiting for his move now. It was a smart idea to defend that square, but now I can go over here, giving him a check, and just collect a rook. Now I can do some action with my rook, like collecting this pawn, and if I collect that pawn I can collect the knight, not really, because the queen is defending over there. Or maybe now I will go here with my bishop, because if I don't do that, he can capture with his knight. Now I'm gonna go here, because in the next hand if I can go here I can give him a check. So he will be forced to move into these 3 ties. If he moves here I can come out with my knight, giving him a check again. He can come back of course, or move into these 2 ties. He's really thinking what move should he do. He's thinking for a now. that amount that I forget what I wanted to do. Luckily he resigned because I forgot what I was planning on to do. So I can start a new game. So I will need 9 more points to reach 700 elo. Now if I can manage up my knight over here and in the next round I can come here. That's not a check. The, um, yes, it's a checkmate. was a misclick. So I will only need one more game to reach 700 elo again. And now on I'm back at 700 elo. Hell yeah.